bummy today. You was bony and looking too funny today. I don't care, nigga still make change. Let's go.
What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Chatting with Cheeze podcast. I'm your host, Fat Cheeze, and y'all already know the motto: no gimmicks, only the real. This is episode 46. Y'all know what I need from y'all. Smash that subscribe button. We on our way to 300 subscribers. Also, like and share the content when it drops, and let's go ahead and jump right into it. So I'm going to start off with the hottest topic in sports right now. It's official. As of last night, the flag has been planted in Dallas. The Dallas Mavericks win the NBA draft lottery. Let's go ahead and get right into it. The Mavericks won the number one pick in the lottery and the right to draft Duke phenom Cooper Flag. The presumed top selection in June's NBA draft, the San Antonio Spurs will pick second, the Philadelphia 76ers will select third, and the Charlotte Hornets will pick fourth. The Mavericks had the fourth longest odds to win the lottery and secure the number one pick with a 1.8% chance of doing so. They're the fourth longest shot to ever win the draft lottery, trailing the 1993 Orlando Magic with a 1.52% chance, 2014 Cleveland Cavaliers with a 1.7% chance, and the 2008 Chicago Bulls with a 1.7% chance. The Utah Jazz, Washington Wizards, and Hornets finished with the three worst records in the NBA and each entered Monday's draft lottery tied with the best odds to secure the number one pick at 14%. None of them secure a top three pick. The Mavericks, Spurs, 76ers each moved up from their positions to leapfrog the teams with the three worst records in the NBA. The lottery win for the Mavericks caps a tumultuous season in which they conducted one of the most controversial trades in sports history by dealing franchise player and superstar Luka Doncic in his prime to the rival Los Angeles Lakers. The move was greeted with motive outrage from Mavericks fans, mostly aimed at Mavs general manager Nico Harrison. Now the Mavericks can focus their rebuild around Flag, who will join the core that features multi-time All-Star Anthony Davis and Kyrie Irving. So first, I'm going to get my thoughts just on that part. Then I'm going to move on to what Dallas is getting in Cooper Flag. But first, I'm going to start off by saying this, right? Now, I'm going to tell y'all, I'm one of the biggest sports people you'll ever meet. I love sports. Everybody know if you watch sports for years like I have, you always hear the R word thrown around. And everybody know what that means. I hate to even use it on my platform, but I'm going to use it. That rigged word. Sports is rigged. They fix the games. They fix certain things in the games, all that. I'm one of them type of person. I've been stubborn about that all my life because I love sports so much that I never wanted to look at it as being rigged or being fake because I just feel like it would take the joy away for me personally. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's how much I love sports. That's how much I'm devoted to it. I'm into it. So I never wanted to look at the games as being rigged or being fixed because it would take the joy and love of the game for me. You know what I'm saying? It's always been like that. Like, anytime I seen something weird go on or something happen, I would always try to give, these leagues and stuff the benefit of the doubt. I'm going to be all the way honest with you, and I hate even bringing this word up on my platform, but I feel like this whole draft lottery situation was rigged. I'm not gonna lie to you. I just find that it's a lot of ironic things that happen. It's a lot of things that it happens and you just can't make sense of it. But I'm gonna be honest. This situation right here, it all falls in line. It all falls in line too perfectly. Like, so you mean to tell me the Dallas Mavericks, who was a play-in team, one of the lowest percent chances to win the draft lottery, 1.8% chance. They so happen to win the draft lottery after a couple of months ago trading their superstar player in Luka Doncic to the Los Angeles Lakers. Nico Harrison receiving death threats. He's getting booed in the arena. All types of stuff going on. And so happily, you mean to tell me that all this stuff goes on, and this is the team that so happens to win the NBA draft lottery and going to land Cooper Flag? I've seen some coincidences in my life, but this right here is too big of a coincidence for me. I mean, It's just how I just don't understand. And then we'll even make it more worse. You seeing guys like LeBron react to it. You seeing guys like Kevin Love, Dwayne Wade put his 2 cents in it. It just doesn't make sense to me. And I know everybody's gonna throw out, well, as long as you win it, you got a chance, or the luck of the draw. Come on, bro. It's too at this point, like this right here, it doesn't. I don't. Nobody can make sense of this to me. Nobody can make sense of this to me. And like I said, I've always been one of the type of people, because my love of sports goes so deep, I always denied the fixed or rigged allegations about. I never wanted to believe it. But after that yesterday, I didn't get a chance to watch the draft lottery. But when my phone went off as much as it did, and I so happened to look and see that Dallas won it, all I could do was laugh, bro. All I could do was laugh. I mean, I don't understand. And the crazy thing about it is, when Wemby was coming out and getting ready to come into the draft, and he was a big touted prospect. Everybody was trying to get Wemby the year that he came out, and closer and closer to the draft lottery, you started to see. We all know Wemby's from France. His connection with Tony Parker. There was pictures floating around of him as a kid in Spurs jerseys and things like that. And so happily, the Spurs ended up winning the draft lottery. It's like I gave him the benefit of the doubt there. I say, okay, maybe that right there might just be a coincidence. But not even. You got to go back before that, when the Pelicans traded Anthony Davis to the Lakers. What ended up happening? I believe that draft coming up, I believe the Pelicans won that draft lottery and ended up drafting Zion. It's like it always happens. But I gave him the benefit of the doubt on that one. I gave him the benefit of the doubt on Wemby. This Cooper Flag situation, I can't give him the benefit of the doubt on. I'm sorry, I can't. Nobody's going to be able to tell me that this situation wasn't fixed for the Mavericks. I don't know if Nico Harris and Adam Silver made a backdoor deal saying, if you give Luka to the Lakers and help us with the ratings, because we all know this year the ratings have been down tremendously for the NBA. We all know that. So I don't know if a back alley deal was made to say, okay, you send Luka to the Lakers, get our ratings back up, and we'll help y'all on the back end, win the draft lottery, get Cooper Flag, and everybody will be good to go like that. I don't know, but that's what it's seeming like to me. That's what it's seeming like to me. I'm going to be honest with you, because I for sure thought one of the worst 3 teams would get it. And that's who I feel the most bad for, honestly, the Wizards, Hornets, and Utah Jazz, because, and that's why I feel like the NFL will always be superior to the NBA. I'm not a fan of the ping pong thing. I feel like I agree with not wanting teams to tank and not wanting teams to, basically lose on purpose. I understand that. But for some of these teams, honestly, I don't believe they tanking. I believe they just that bad. You know what I'm saying? But I agree with, if I'm going to look at a draft, if I'm a team that's bad, I think at some point you got to just think of the fans. Like, you got to think about the fans. You got fans that love these teams, and they teams are terrible. You know what I'm saying? And they got a chance to go get a generational talent like Cooper Flag, and, for it to just be taken away from them, like, at least give them a chance. I just find it crazy how the top, not even the Mavericks. You have the Dallas Mavericks, who had the number 1 pick, who's getting the number 1 pick, and they were a play-in team this season. You got the San Antonio Spurs, who has the number 2 pick. They had high expectations coming into this year. Not saying that they were going to win a championship, but to at least make a playoff run. They traded for De'Aaron Fox at the trade deadline. You got Wemby coming in. Now he's coming into his own. They were expecting to make some noise. Wemby gets injured. That whole thing. They end up falling flat. They get the 2nd pick. Then you got the Philadelphia 76ers, who end up with the 3rd pick. The hype coming into this year with Paul George. You got Tyrese Maxey, who's a rising star with Joel Embiid, and they end up with the 3rd pick. And then you got the 3 worst teams, Hornets, Jazz, and Wizards, who don't even get in the top 3. Hornets 4th, Jazz 5th, Wizards 6th. I feel bad for those teams and their fan bases, honestly, but I'm sorry, I don't like to throw that word fixed or rigged around a lot, but there's nobody that's going to be able to tell me that this situation wasn't a backdoor thing. But It's over with. It's happened now. So now to my Dallas Mavericks fans, let me tell y'all what y'all will be getting in Cooper Flagg. So Flagg has been lauded as the future #1 draft pick since early in his prep days. He arrived at Duke last season as one of the most coveted prospects in college basketball history and managed to exceed the hype in a single season. A versatile 6'9" forward, Flagg led Duke as a freshman in points, 19 points per game, rebounds 7.5, assists 4.2, blocks 1.4, and steals 1.4, while shooting a 48.1% from the floor and 38.5% from three. He paced the Blue Devils to a 35-4 record as Duke led the nation with a 20.4 point average scoring margin. Duke dominated the ACC with the 19-1 regular season record and tournament championship before entering the NCAA tournament as the #1 seed. Flagg was a unanimous first-team All-American selection and finished the season as a consensus National Player of the Year while earning the Wooden Award, Naismith Award, and AP National Player of the Year honors, among others. Duke's season fell short of the ultimate goal in a disappointing Final Four loss to Houston. The loss did little to dim Flagg's NBA prospects. He looks every bit like a generational talent with the upside of raising the Mavericks into contention. He'll join a team that hopes to compete for the playoffs next season after losing in the play-in tournament in April. I think with this whole situation, I think Cooper is going to be good. I think he's going to be good for the franchise. You know, Dallas, Texas, that's a big market. I think he's going to step right in. He's going to be able to, you know, he's had the limelight on him for quite some time, so I don't think that's going to be a problem. You're getting a young, athletic, a young man. He's great on the defense. He's good on the defensive end. Nico Harrison made it a point of emphasis after the Luka trade that defense win championships. So with Cooper Flagg, you're getting defense. Like I said, you put him with Anthony Davis, Derek Lively, and that backcourt, they could possibly go in the next year and have one of the best backcourts in the NBA. One of the best backcourts in the NBA. I don't know if I'm saying the backcourt or front court. Is it front court? One of the two, but basically they'll be good on the back end with defense with Anthony Davis, Cooper Flagg, Derek Lively, you know, and that squad. And then the good thing about, it's not a good thing, but with Anthony Davis and Kyrie going down and not playing that much, you get a chance to see other guys like Najee Marshall had a solid year. You add him to that mix. You also got who else over there? It was a couple guys that stepped up. You still got Klay Thompson, PJ Washington. Just that whole core. I think if you add Cooper Flagg into that mix, I think we could be looking at one of the best defensive teams next year, and there's somebody that can compete to honestly make another playoff run. And I'm hearing a lot of people talk about Dallas possibly trading a pick. I don't see it. If I'm Dallas, I'm not trading a pick. Because I don't know. The only way I'm possibly trading that pick is if maybe Giannis Antetokounmpo is an option. But if it's not Giannis, I'm not trading the pick. I'm not trading it for Devin Booker. I'm not trading it for Kevin Durant. It has to be for me. It will have to only be Giannis Antetokounmpo that I'm willing to move up off that pick for. But Dallas, you getting a generational talent. So the Nico, he probably still not all the way off the hook because, you know, Cooper got to come in there and prove himself. But for the most part, I think Dallas fans should be at least feel a little more happy knowing that they got rid of Luka. But now you're going to get Cooper Flagg, a young guy. You know, he's coming in. You could have him. He could come in and turn into a superstar, and you'll have him for 15 to 20 years down the line, and you'll have something to look for. But yeah, he checks all the boxes. Versatile, athletic, plays defense, can give you buckets in the paint, he can shoot the three ball, and I think he checks all the boxes, man. So just gotta wait and see how Kyrie comes back from his injury. You put him with Anthony Davis. Like I said, you got that backcourt with Lively. Then you also got Gafford, PJ Washington. You still got Klay, Najee Marshall stepped up big. So I think, man, if Dallas could come back and be fully healthy, I think they can make some noise with Cooper Flagg. But I believe it was a backdoor alley done, and I mean, we just gotta wait and see what happened. I think a lot of fans got a sour taste in their mouth about this one, but at this point, it is what it is, and we just gotta wait and see what happened. But the flag has landed in Dallas. Congratulations to all my Mavericks fans. Moving on to my next topic, and it's so ironic, right? Because I held this episode back a little bit to talk about this particular topic because I just finished watching the game. So the Cleveland Cavaliers, as of a few minutes ago, have officially been sent home. They lost this series 4-1. I believe the ending score just now was 114 to 105. My notes and everything are from Game 3. I'm still gonna read off my notes that I already have. But yes, when this video drops, the Cleveland Cavaliers have been sent home. The Indiana Pacers are headed to the Eastern Conference Finals, and yeah. So too bad. For me, this is a disappointment for the Cleveland Cavaliers after the season that they had. My ceiling for them at bare minimum was at least Eastern Conference Finals. But I'm gonna go ahead and jump into my notes that I got, and then I'm gonna get back to my question that I have. So the Cleveland Cavaliers finished the regular season with 64 wins, the NBA's most efficient offense, and both the Defensive Player and Coach of the Year. They entered the postseason as a clean buzzsaw, slicing through the Miami Heat in 4 games with all their depth, balance, physicality, and zip on display. It was all irrelevant on Sunday night through in one of the most bewildering and pitiful performances you'll ever see from a top seed in a playoff game. Against the Indiana Pacers, against a Indiana's Pacer team that seemingly made every shot, nailed every adjustment, and executed with relentless intention. The Cavaliers lost 129 to 109. The final score doesn't do the domination justice. Tristan Thompson played the entire fourth quarter. Nothing could possibly be more devastating than that, except possibly whatever the hell happened at the end of Game 2. The Cavaliers, now down 3-1, now 4-1, series over, can either win on Tuesday, which they didn't, or spend the entire summer hearing old suspicions resurface about their core. Is the starting backcourt too small? Can they generate enough spacing when Evan Mobley and Jared Allen share the court? Can the ethical system that carried them through 82 games translate against an opponent that has enough discipline to muck up their preferred plans? Some of these questions are either premature or a little unfair. Darius Garland, Mobley, and DeAndre Hunter are still not 100% after missing time earlier in the series. Donovan Mitchell ankle may sideline him for Game 5, which it didn't. Donovan Mitchell played and actually had a pretty good game. One catastrophic loss does not define a season, particularly when it comes against a team that manifested unsustainable hot shooting throughout an 80-point first half as the Pacers did. But shot making never tells the entire story. Even if the Cavaliers force a Game 6, which they won't, which is still entirely possible, it's not because the series is over. What occurred during the lopsided faceplant was partially a function of their own structural ineptitudes. I don't need to read the rest because this is about Donovan Mitchell possibly missing the game tonight. And like I said, I just literally finished watching before I recorded. He didn't miss the game. I believe he ended the game with, don't quote me on this, but I believe he ended the game with about 35 or something. I didn't get the stats. I'm literally fresh off watching the game. But the question I have for y'all, and I want y'all to leave it in the comments, is can the Cavaliers ever win a championship with Donovan Mitchell as their best player? And for me, my answer to that question is I don't believe that they could win a championship. I don't believe the Cavaliers can win a championship with Donovan Mitchell as their best player, but I don't believe that is Donovan Mitchell's fault, if that makes sense. Because Donovan Mitchell is doing his job. Like, he's going out there, he's performing, he's putting up the points. But I just feel like I put Donovan Mitchell kind of in the same boat that I put Jimmy Butler, DeMar DeRozan when he was in Toronto, and all DeMar DeRozan teams Like, I always had that question: Is this guy just a good player on his own, or can you win a championship with them? And the answer was always no. I feel the same way with Donovan Mitchell. Like, you know Donovan Mitchell's gonna go out there and give you numbers. You know Donovan Mitchell's gonna go out there and play his tail off on the offense and defensive side of the ball. But I don't think Donovan Mitchell is enough to get you over the hump. Like, for the Cavaliers to have the season that they had with the coach of the year, they almost won 70 games. They got the coach of the year and Kenny Atkinson, defensive player of the year, and Evan Mobley. He made an all-star game. Darius Garland made his second all-star game. And for you guys to be, for the second consecutive year, be getting sent home in the second round of the playoffs, I feel like this is an absolute complete disappointment for them. And I just think that it's not enough. I mean, you could try to run it back, but I don't see a scenario where it gets better than what it got this year. Now, Darius Garland did miss some time at the beginning of this series, Evan Mobley and also DeAndre Hunter. But I understand that, but you had your entire core back for games 3, 4, and now 5. And you only managed to win one of those games, which was game 3. You lost the other 2. I just think they may have to look at this. They may have to go to the drawing board to where they may have to make a move. They may have to come up off of Jared Allen. I don't know. You may want to see what is the market for a Darius Garland. You may want to see, because like I said, the team that they have now, it's a good team. My ceiling for them was Eastern Conference Finals. Now that we know they're not getting there, I mean, like I said, I don't understand. I don't see how anybody can look at this season and not consider it a disappointment after the type of year that they had. But for Donovan Mitchell, like I said, I don't believe that they can win a championship with him being their best player, but I don't think it's his fault. If you look at the numbers, Donovan Mitchell this year averaged 24 points, 4.5 rebounds, 5 assists, shooting 44.3 from the field. He stepped it up in the playoffs, averaging 28.9 points per game, 4.1 rebounds, 4.3 assists, shooting 46.2% from the field, and 33.8% from 3. And they going home in the second round. His first year in Cleveland, he averaged 22.3 points per game, 5 rebounds, 7.2 assists, shot 43.3 from the field, 28.9 from 3, but they lost to the Knicks in the first round 4-1. His second year in Cleveland, 29.6 points per game. So he stepped it up from the first year. 5.4 rebounds, 4.7 assists. He shot 47.6 from the field, 35.4 from 3. They beat the Magic in the first round in 7 games, but they lost in the second round. They lost in the second round to the Celtics in 5. Cavs were the number 1 seed heading into this year's playoffs. 64-18 record. At times this season, the Cavs had a 15-game win streak, 12-game win streak, and 16-game win streak. I just don't see in a scenario where they can get better from here. Like, this is the best season. I guarantee you, if you asked a bunch of people, nobody's seen Cleveland having this type of season this year. And for you to have the type of season that they had and get eliminated in the second round of the playoffs, and this is no discredit to Indiana. Indiana is balling. Halliburton, Miles Turner, Nesmith, them boys balling. So it's no discredit to them at all. You know what I'm saying? But for Cleveland, to have this type of year like this and be getting sent home in the second round, I know it got to be disappointing for their fan base and for that organization. And I just think it may be time to go back to the drawing board, see if, it's going to possibly be some guys out there willing to move. Maybe see, like I said, if you can possibly get something for Jared Allen, because it may be hard for them to space the floor in the playoffs with Allen and Mobley on the floor. You just got to figure something out. But as they're currently constructed, if you couldn't at least make it to the Eastern Conference Finals this year with what they currently had on that roster, I don't see another scenario where Cleveland can make a finals push with the team that they currently have if you couldn't do it this year after coming off of this type of season. Like I said, me personally, I don't believe that they could win a championship, that they can even make a finals with Donovan Mitchell being their best player. but it's not his fault. I believe Donovan Mitchell is a great player. Like, Donovan Mitchell is a top 3 shooting guard in this league. Wherever you want to rank him, but it's either going to be between Donovan Mitchell, Anthony Edwards, or Devin Booker as your top 3. He's a phenomenal player. He's going to give you his buckets. He's going to give you something on the defensive side. We know what Donovan Mitchell is. The question is, even though we know what he is, does he have enough to get you over the hump? I don't believe so. I would put him in that same boat like I put guys like DeMar DeRozan, and like I put guys, and I'm not talking about this current DeMar DeRozan. I'm talking about DeMar DeRozan with Toronto, DeMar DeRozan with Chicago. That DeMar DeRozan. I would put him in that boat with guys like Jimmy Butler, where we know that they're phenomenal players, but I don't feel like it's enough that with just them they can get you over the hump. But that's my personal opinion. I want y'all to let me know what y'all think in the comments. Do y'all think Donovan Mitchell is enough to get the Cleveland Cavaliers over the hump into an NBA Finals? I'm gonna tell you one thing: he won't be doing it this year because they just got sent home. But let me know what y'all think in the comments, and I give my feedback. Moving on to my next subject. So yesterday as well, a lot went on yesterday. The New York Knicks ended up taking a 3-1 lead over the Boston Celtics, winning that ball game in Madison Square Garden. I gotta find what the score was, but the New York Knicks ended up winning the game yesterday, taking a commanding 3-1 lead. They'll be headed back to Boston to try to close out the series. And my question that I have is, am I more impressed with the Knicks or am I more disappointed with the Celtics? So let me read my notes I got, and then I'm going to go ahead and give y'all my thoughts on that. So Jalen Brunson led the Knicks again, scoring 39 points on 14 of 25 shooting. Mikal Bridges, OG Anunoby, and Karl Anthony Towns all scored at least 20 points as the Knicks moved to within one win of their first Eastern Conference Finals appearance since 2000. The Knicks trailed by as many as 14 points in the third quarter before making another impressive late-game run. New York overcame a 20-point deficit in both games 1 and 2, winning both to take a 2-0 series lead. The Knicks now hold a 3-1 edge in the series despite leading for just 24 minutes and 55 seconds over the 4 games. That is the least amount of time leading by a team with a 3-1 or better series lead since the stat was first tracked in 1998. The Knicks shot 54.3% from the floor in Game 4, including going 38 for 58, 65.5% on 2-point attempts. The Celtics, meanwhile, got 43 combined points from Jaylen Brown and Derek White, and they outshot the Knicks from 3 in this game, 18 made threes to New York's 12. But the rest of the rotation struggled. Kristaps Porzingis, Al Horford, and Jrue Holiday combined for just 16 points. The Celtics will need to win 3 games in a row to advance. If they lose the series to the Knicks, they'll become the 6th straight defending NBA champion that failed to get out of the second round. The Boston Celtics season is on the brink, and next season may also be in serious jeopardy because of what happened in Game 4 of the Eastern Conference semifinals on Monday. All-star Jason Tatum suffered what appeared to be a serious right leg injury with a little more than 3 minutes left in the fourth quarter as he lunged for a loose ball. The Celtics couldn't mount a comeback without their best player, who had scored a game-high 42 points with 8 rebounds, 4 assists, 4 steals, and 2 blocks. And it was announced earlier today that Jason Tatum was diagnosed with the torn Achilles and has already underwent surgery. So before we get started, and I'm mad at myself because I thought I wrote down the score, but apparently I didn't. But just know the New York Knicks won. They up 3-1, and they'll be headed back to Boston to try to end the series. But first and foremost, before I jump into this topic, I want to send my love and, a fast recovery out to Jason Tatum, who is a superstar in this league, possibly face of the league once, the old timers go ahead and step away. But it's very unfortunate. Speedy recovery to Jason Tatum. You hate to see it like that, especially this late in the season. I believe that more than likely he may miss all of next year. And, it's just unfortunate. He was out there balling yesterday. Jason Tatum was carrying them. He was doing everything in his power to try to, keep them afloat. But unfortunately, he went out with this injury. This is a serious injury. This could be a career-altering injury. So I just want to send my love to Jason Tatum. Get well soon. Don't rush back. This team was built, was constructed to be able to, then they should be able to, keep things afloat until you're fully healthy and able to come back. I believe that Boston probably will try to make some trades this offseason. But Jaylen Brown, you got the keys now. A lot of people been saying last year, the year before that, they felt as though Jaylen Brown was the best player. Well, guess what? You got the keys now, so we going to see what you're going to do with it. But like I said, all jokes aside, get well soon, Jason Tatum. And I can't wait to see you back out there better, faster, stronger than ever, and, back to doing what you love, and that's hooping, getting buckets. So get well soon. But back to my question. Am I more impressed with the Knicks or disappointed in the Celtics? I'm more impressed with the New York Knicks. The reason being, but if you ain't a New York Knicks fan or don't live in New York or got any ties to New York or nothing like that, nobody had the New York Knicks winning this series. Nobody. I seen people saying New York was going to get swept. I seen people saying gentleman's sweep. They didn't have a chance. Even after coming back from down 20 in game 1, people still thought New York didn't have a chance. They thought, oh, well, Celtics they was up 20. They dropped the ball. Celtics still going to get them in 5. Then when they won game 2, oh, man, Celtics dropped the ball again. It's all good. Celtics will get them in 6. Now they down 3-1, and we all know 3-1 is basically damn near close to the kiss of death because we don't see teams come back from 3-1. It's a rarity. It's a rarity. We've seen it, but it's a rarity. And now without Jason Tatum, I don't see it happening. I think New York closes this thing out, and we'll find out because by the time this episode come out, the game will be over. But if New York don't close it out in Boston, they definitely closing it out back in New York whenever that game is scheduled. But I'm more impressed with the Knicks, man. The Knicks have been playing good. When the playoffs first started, before even this series, I said that the guys that they picked up this past offseason was going to play the biggest role in New York getting over that hump. Because we know these past years, Julius Randle haven't really did what he was supposed to do in the supporting cast. Last year, OG came in, but he ended up getting hurt. So the supporting cast really needed to step up behind Brunson. I said in order for the Knicks to get anywhere this year, they would have to depend heavily on Mikal Bridges and Karl Anthony Towns. Those two have stepped up huge in this series. I think other than Jalen Brunson, Mikal Bridges has been huge for them this series. When he doesn't have it going on the offensive side, he's been doing great things on the defensive end, like he was doing in Boston with the two big stops at the end of the game to seal the game for the Knicks. And then he stepped up last night, giving them 23 points. But Mikal Bridges has been huge, and Karl Anthony Towns. I want to send a shout out to Karl Anthony Towns because I've been on Cat hard. Like I said, if Karl Anthony Towns didn't perform good in these playoffs, I wanted y'all New York fans to give him the same energy that y'all gave to Julius Randle. But Karl Anthony Towns has definitely answered the call, and he's played phenomenal. Game 1, he gave you 14 points, 6 to 13, 13 rebounds. Game 2, he stepped it up, 21 points, 9 to 16, 17 rebounds. Game 3, he gave you 21 again, 5 to 18, 15 rebounds. They got blown out that game, but it's all good. And then Game 4, he came back with 23 points, 11 to 15 with 11 rebounds and an assist. Cat has been huge. OG has stepped it up on the defensive end, also providing you with some offensive firepower, knocking down his open shots. OG has been huge. Josh Hart has played his role, that gritty, get on the ground, you know what I'm saying, attack the bucket, go out the rebounds, knock down your open shots. Josh Hart has played phenomenal. Mitchell Robinson has came in, even though he ain't hitting them, even though he not making his free throws, but Mitchell Robinson has came in. When Cat goes out, he's gave them great production, anchoring down that paint, rebounding, scoring in the paint, pick and rolling, doing everything he needs to do. He's been good. McBride has gave you solid production off the bench. And Tom Thibodeau, I'm not a big fan of the way he coaches, running his players all in minutes, but you got to give him some credit, though. They answering the bell. And people call me crazy that after game 1, I said that Jalen Brunson was the best player in this series. I stand by that. People said I was tripping. I'm a Jason Tatum guy, trust me. But in this series, after seeing what I saw game 1, Jalen Brunson has been the best player in this series. Jalen Brunson is playing out of his mind. He's a superstar. He's a superstar. They don't have an answer for him. What he's doing on that pick and roll, making your big man come out and check, they have no answer for him. And even when he's having bad games like he was in game 2, they still trust him down the stretch. That's why he's the most clutch. He's the clutch player of the year this year. Down the stretch, they trust Jalen Brunson. They want the ball in his hands. And he's answered the bell on every call. He's answered the bell humble, and they're not playing out of their game. And I believe that's what the plan that New York came in with. Just be gritty. Just stay in the game long enough. We believe that we can. They'll stop hitting shots, because one thing we know about Boston, they live and die by the 3. They like to go by the analytics and what they believe. We're going to shoot as many threes as possible, and eventually they'll go in. New York is playing the type of style of basketball. We're going to go to the bucket. We're going to get these easy 2s. We're going to kill them in the mid-range. If the 3s become open, we're going to knock down our open 3s. And all we got to do is stay within striking distance. If they're not hitting their 3s constantly, we can overtake them. And you've seen that in game 1 and game 2. Game 3, Boston was hitting their shots. We give you that. But game 4, it turned back into the same thing. Boston had a 14-point lead. They started missing shots. They kept chucking. And all New York kept doing was just inching away. Mikal Bridges started to make timely buckets. Cat started to make buckets. Then here come Brunson. And here we are. I'm more impressed with the Knicks than I am disappointed in the Celtics, honestly. Because, I think the disappointment in the Celtics, they are the champions from last year, but still, I just feel like this Knicks team was built to beat Boston. That's what I truly feel. And I'm impressed by them. Right now, I'm going to be honest. I was willing to come on here and say, once New York is done with this series, I'm taking them to go to the finals, but I might have to get back with y'all on that one, because I love the way Indiana's playing. That's a series right there I cannot wait to see. And Indiana sent New York home last year, so they got that chip on their shoulder to try to shake back this year. That's a series I can't wait to see. I was going to come on here and straight jump the gun and say I believe that that New York is headed to the finals after they get rid of Boston. But the way Indiana look, I don't know. I'm going to get back to y'all on that one. But to answer my own question, I'm more impressed with the Knicks more than I am disappointed in the Celtics. But let me know what y'all think down in the comment section. Are y'all more disappointed in the Celtics or more impressed with the Knicks? Let me know what y'all think, man. And I'm going to go ahead and wrap this episode up. Like I said, y'all know where to find me each and every week. I appreciate y'all for tuning in with me, man. Do not forget to smash that subscribe button. We are on our way to 300 subscribers. Do not forget to like and share the content when it drops, man. And just keep rocking with me, y'all. Also, follow me on all social media platforms. Instagram, TikTok. I'm about to start getting active on X. I do have a Facebook account, so just follow me on all social media platforms, man. And I appreciate y'all for locking in. I'll see y'all next time.